welcome to the Mystic Friday podcast, where we have the conversation people avoid, but this is a just for me. Today's episode is not about rumors, it's not about gossip or assumptions. It's about accountability, faith, leadership, and what happens when domestic violence and molestation conversations involve people with spiritual authority. This discussion is centered on public conversations surrounding Pastor Green and Pastor John Lowe, our faith community responds when domestic violence and molestation enters into sacred space. Okay? This is a disclaimer. Let me put that out. This is a disclaimer. This episode discusses domestic violence awareness and we are not making accusations or declaring guilt. We are examining how communities act, how powerful impacts silence, and why victims must always come first. Let's talk respectfully, honestly, and responsibly. That's the beginning of this conversation. What I need for you to do is go ahead and share the live. This may help somebody, anybody, something. We want to get this out to as many people as possible. We don't know who these people are. Okay? So, with that being said, hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to go ahead and my comments over here. Okay, okay. So with that being said, the title of this podcast again is When Abuse Enters the Pulpit, Pastor Darius Green and Pastor John Lowe. If you haven't already got to see, let me bring you up to speed. Pastor Darius, DaQuarius, Green has been unalive alleged by his wife, his Matt. And with that being said, a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say. A lot of people had a lot of opinions about it. And so on this podcast, here's what we want to do is we want to give our feedback, and we want to talk about things and not talk about each. Let's keep it real. Everybody wants to shelter everything, but on this podcast, we want to keep it real and we're going to talk about it. So, domestic violence, it does not appear because someone is attacked. Titles don't erase being harmed. Silence and faith often protects reputation and not people. When abuse conversations involve pastors, people freeze. Not because they don't care, but because faith complicates accountability. Hold on just one second. Let me pause. So y'all can hear me really, really clear. I want to make sure everybody hear me really, really clear. Okay? So I'm going to say this again. Domestic violence does not disappear because someone is a pastor. Okay? Titles don't erase them either. Silence and faith space often protects reputation and not people. When abuse conversations involve pastor, people freeze not because, they don't care, but because faith complicates accountability. Okay? So a lot of people like to hold pastor to a certain standard. A lot of people like to just simply think that, well, this is a man of God. He's going to give me everything that I need. Why would he be in a domestic violence situation? Why would he be molesting people? You know what I'm saying? And again, if you over here on TikTok and you want to see my screen on the videos I'm about to show, get over to YouTube so you can see that. So it does not erase because you are a pastor. You is not disqualified for having accusations put upon you because you're a pastor, because you're a man of the cloth. That's not the way things work. Okay? And some videos I'm going to show you, you want to see for yourself in a visual form of how these different situations took place or how they occur and how the congregation act. And, this is a topic, like I said, nobody wants to really talk about. And it's kind of a touchy subject, quote unquote, because it's a pastor or a man of cloth. But we're going to talk about it over here on Domestic Fridays, right? Ain't that right, Facebook? We're going to talk about it over here. We ain't sugarcoating shit. So when it comes to abuse conversations involving pastor, people have the tendency of freezing up and choosing the pastor side. And we need to figure out what's really going on. We need to hold these people accountable, because if you're a person of cloth This is an oath that you made until the Baptist, the Church of God in Christ, whatever denomination you in. And a lot of times nowadays, a lot of pastors have to go to school in order to be in some type of pulpit. And which is kind of ludicrous to me, because I feel a gift is a gift. And when I say a gift is a gift, you don't need to be paid for your gift. Your gift will make room for you. I'm just being honest. So faith, power, and silence. Spiritual authority creates fear of speaking up. Victims worry they won't be believed. Congregations are taught forgiveness before safety. Forgiveness without accountability is not healing, it's just control. And I'm going to say this. As I was getting this podcast ready, and I went on to the wife page, Massey, I went on to her page, and there's not a lot of information that she put out there on her page. In the information that was on her page, she erased it all. So I'm going to show you what I was able to get. And when I tell you, when you see this, this is mind blowing. I'm covering Pastor Green some stuff that people have not covered. So if you are on TikTok, get over to YouTube, go up into my bio and look for the YouTube tab, because I'm gonna drop these videos and I'm gonna release screenshots. I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. I don't know about nobody else doing stuff for views, but my job is to make people aware, to be an advocate, to be a voice for people that can't talk. But nevertheless, this is the reason why I feel that she hadn't came forward with a lot of things she hadn't even said. And a lot of times when victims go through certain things, this is why. Because the ridicule that comes behind doing that, everybody can't handle that. Some people go through suicide. Some people go through mental illness. Some people go through all types of things that goes on. And thank you for liking the live. Some people go through all types of things because they're speaking up. And then guess what? There's no shelter. There's no covenant. That's what the church is supposed to be. There's no covenant for the particular victims. And I'm going to give a suggestion of some things. But if you over here on YouTube, I'm going to show you the what she posted, the wife posted on her Facebook page. And it was a couple of months prior. But however, nevertheless, this is what she posted. And I just want you guys to look at it. I want you to tell me what do you think? How do you feel about it? She says, I keep people out of my personal business, but yes, I filed for divorce 2 weeks ago. God bless you all that have called and texted me. Cheers to a new journey. Now, this was back in May 28, 2025, but this was something that she has pinned to her Facebook page. Her last name is Massey on Facebook. It is not Green. So when I saw that, everybody had something to say. Because if you're not aware, the pastor have already been accused of having 3 domestic violence charges. Let's keep that real. And I'm not going to even say allegedly because it's already public information. But he has been charged with that. And then to see this post, I can see how people on the outside looking in like, what in the world is going on? Like, why would she do a domestic violence charge 3 times and then turn around and remove them? And I think what a lot of people are missing out is we all have our time for doing things. We all have our reasoning for doing things. And I think a lot of people really care her because he is a pastor. But from what the sister said, and I'm gonna post what she said as well on the YouTube. The sister stated a lot of nuggets, and I don't even know because it's not a lot of views on this. And a lot of people was backlashing the sister, asking the sister question: why did she unalive the man? Why did she post this? And why did she have 3 charges and decide to withdraw those charges? So here's what the sister had to say. She said, they were dropped due to my sister signing an affidavit each time, and she didn't have to do that. So my thing was, when it came down to the pastor, I wondered what was going on with her where she felt the need to withdraw those. They do have children together. I can't say because I don't truly know, but dealing with domestic violence, have you guys ever heard of the Stockholm syndrome? And I believe in this instance, this is what really happened, because you could be in love with somebody and they could come back tomorrow and buy you flowers. Hell, look at what's love got to do with it. How long did you think Tina stayed? If we want to calculate the time, how long do you think it was that Tina Turner stayed with Ike? Like, let's be realistic here. And I want you to ask yourself, why do you overeat when you full? If I'm being honest, why would you overeat when you're full? And some people might say, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's the same scenario. Y'all asking her, why would she file 3 charges and then drop those charges? And then the end of it, she unalived him, And I'm gonna really be honest. When it's dealing with people in the pulpit, most people don't want to hear it, especially black people. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to feel it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to address it. They don't want to bring it up. They don't want to do nothing pertaining to the pastor, because the pastor is considered to be the man of the cloth. He's considered to be the man that do no wrong. But what we're not realizing is forgiveness without accountability is not healing. It is control. It is definitely control. I went down his TikTok, and I'm not going to post the video that he posted on his TikTok out of respect. But the video he posted was Dr. Clifford Dollar saying the exact same thing that happened to him. And we don't know as people, the things we say out of our mouth, the things we set up and listen to, that's not profound or is not helping in any kind of way, sometimes become your own reality. It may not be your intention, but it happens. You feel what I'm saying? Thank you for sharing the live. It may not be the intention, but it happens. You feel what I'm saying? You cannot speak none out of your mouth. You telling 10 trillion cells in your head that this is the way you want to go. And then when you go that way, everybody like, oh, why he go that way, or why she go that way? Well, hell, they spoke it already. This is something that they wanted to happen, And I'm going to really be honest. A lot of people backlashing the girl saying the shit was fake. She put out false accusation because she went back and she, took back what she said. Basically is what they saying. But again, she did not take anything back. Again, you have to realize when domestic violence situation, especially with kids, things can be a lot more complicated than what we see in the eye, or what you see posted on social media. Because we don't know. We don't live in them folk houses. We don't operate with them. Thank you, coming for the likes. Y'all spam the likes and share the live for me if you can. And we need to hold these pastors accountable for the shit they do and the shit they say. What makes them high and mighty when we can't say nothing about them? What type of protection that they got that you don't got and that I don't got? Is it something we missing? I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. Why churches often choose private handling, the danger of praying about it, culture, how community pressures re-traumatization victims. And I just said that. Why do pastors choose to handle it private? Can anybody tell me? Why do pastors choose to handle certain situations privately? You did it openly. Why are we handling this private? Why? I don't understand it. Can somebody else help me out? Is it something I'm missing or something I ain't read? Some water I ain't drink? Like literally, what is it? What happened? I be want to know. Like when stuff go on, people be like, "Oh, he's selling out of court for $100 million." Well, what happened? And then you'll turn around and say, "Oh, that was not guilty because I settled out of court." Well, what that make you? What does that make you if you do that? I'm not understanding. Imagine being harmed and then told your silence is God's will. That's not faith. That's straight up manipulation. Can I say this one more time? Because I think the people in the back, they can't hear me fully. They can't hear me fully. They can't see me fully. You know, I'm going to say this one more time. Imagine being harmed, then told your silence is God's will. That's not faith. That's manipulation. Oh, you going through that, baby. That's your God will. That's your God will. He don't, Brother Harris don't rape you. Oh, that's your God will. Honey, don't worry about that, baby. That's your God will. God will provide. You know what I'm saying? Really? Y'all gotta understand, people in these churches, they not from the same cloth you from. They not from the same hood you from. They not from the same era you from. I'm just being real. Like we need to ask ourselves. Like straight up. We need to definitely ask ourselves what is really going on? And you have the authority. You have the authority to ask whatever's necessary. Don't be sitting up there in no church and you can't ask no questions. That's why I don't live by the saying lean not to your own understanding. Why not? But then I'm supposed to trust my intuition. I'm supposed to trust my gut. So which one is it? You know? But that's how they control the mind. That's how they get you. Because you don't use your head to think. You just going off of these paraphrases that they keep saying every week. You keep passing them on. Your mama done passed them on. Your grandma done passed them on. And everything becomes repetitious. And not really understanding the words that are coming out of your mouth. You're not being authentic with yourself. You know? Imagining being harmed and then you're told that it's God's will. That's straight up manipulation. Oh, you didn't get the car this week, baby. Oh, that's God's will. God's will. God's will. Oh, no, you didn't get that house. God's will, baby. God's will. Like straight up imagining that. Like every time you say something or every time you mention something, you want to advance or go to the next level, somebody say, "Oh no, baby, don't do that. That wasn't God's will, baby. That wasn't God's will." Why that wasn't God's will? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Help me to understand that. Am I missing something? You know, am I missing something? You know, it can't be it. What accountability should look like? What does accountability should look like for the people of the cloth? What does accountability should look like? Do anybody know what the accountability should look like? What up, Dan? I mean, independent investigations, if you ask me. Independent investigation. That means somebody that is not a part of the cloth investigating. That's what that means. Somebody that is not part of the cloth investigating. Removing leadership duties, doing a review. And in my opinion, if it's too much, I think you need to get up out of here. I don't even feel like you need to be some type of personal taking time and let us go over the documentation. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. And I mean now. Do it expeditiously. If a pastor rape a kid, why do we need to do a personal investigation? Now we need to get him out of here quick. And we need to do it fast. Okay? Centering victim safety. No one's concerned about the victim. throughout all of this. In domestic violence and molestation, no one is concerned about the victims, because look what people are doing on social media to her. The harsh things that they are saying, very nasty things they are saying to her. And that should be problematic. That we are all jumping on the victim side. Everybody wants to down the victim for being domestic violence. like I'm really confused. Whose side are we on? And that you absolutely, J Real, I'm telling you, a lot of people don't understand. Why are we just ignoring the pastor did what he did and we just down in the victim? And then people will wonder why they won't come forward and speak. This is why. Y'all don't know the stuff that went on behind closed doors. You know, we got to be transparent. We got to be transparent with the speculations. When you're a pastor, we're going to treat you like everybody else. We ain't letting shit slide. We don't do the cha-cha slide. We're not professionals of that. We're not makers of that. Like, accountability isn't an attack on faith. It's protection of it. And when are the church people going to be real about the church business? I'm just being real, y'all. Like, I'm really being real. Let me turn this fan on, y'all, because boy, when I tell you this, these lights be, boy, they be burning. But we got to understand, y'all, and we got to hold these pastors accountable. We can't leave nothing out. We can't leave nothing on the table. Why are we doing that? Why are we leaving it on the table? Let me ask y'all a question. Should churches address domestic violence allegation publicly? I want to know. Should churches address domestic violence allegation publicly? In my opinion, I'm going to say yes. What do you think, TikTok? What do you think, YouTube and Facebook? Listen clearly, should churches address domestic violence allegation publicly? And I'm going to say yes. I'm jumping out there and I'm going to say yes, simply because we need to get their asses. And sometimes I'm going to say this. A lot of people believe in karma. Let me say this. A lot of people believe in karma. But what a lot of people don't understand, sometimes you could be the person that's sit to do the karma. Sure enough you is. Sure enough you is. Sure enough you is. Who said that karma got to come from out of the sky? Who said that? They said karma got to come out of the sky. No. You meant to handle that business. Because get what? If they step on your toe, get what you going to do. Are you going to wait for karma to come back next week and then karma break down? Or are you going to stand on business right then and there? I'm just being honest. I don't know nothing about nobody else. Jay, you say yet. I mean, because we are. But in church, they tell you opposite. Turn the other cheek. So you mean tell me I'm supposed to let a motherfucker wail on me? I'm just trying to understand. Am I supposed to let a motherfucker wail on me on top of my motherfucking head? I'm being real. If you don't like real conversation, then this ain't the podcast for you. I'm just being real. Are you going to sit up there and let a motherfucker wail on you like you know what I'm saying? Jay, I'm serious. I'm serious. Are you going to handle business? Or are you going to wait till karma comes around the corner? Or we need to do this instant gratification. We ain't waiting. Because we could be dead and gone. And we still ain't got our lick back. Because I'm going to tell you, I ain't finna let a motherfucker wail on my motherfucking head. We finna both be dead. or I should have said unalive. We both gonna be unalive around here. So y'all don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Jay said, "I'll be in jail." Look, I understand it, man. We all be locked up, or as my grandma, my mama would say, one going to hell and one going to jail. I'm just telling the truth. One going to jail and one going to hell. That's what grandma used to say. And I know if you're from down the south, that's what all of them said. Just being honest, like, how can faith communities support victims better? How can faith community, and I'm gonna be real, ain't no more faith communities. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. It used to be back in the day when I'm gonna say gang members or people that didn't attend church, they would step to the side, let the elder walk by, say, "How you doing, Miss Pearlie? How you doing, Miss Jenkins?" You know, you would respect your elders when you walk by. You wouldn't sit there and you wouldn't let your elders go past and without saying anything. How you doing, Isaac? And so we don't see that no more. Don't nobody step aside and let the elders go on by, because 9 times out of 10, them elders either going to the grocery store, they either going to church, wherever they going to. But you ain't finna step aside no more. You don't see that. No, grandma better get out the way. You know what I'm saying? Or before she get on. I ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't lying. Talk back to me over here on TikTok. I see y'all over here watching, but y'all ain't saying nothing. I need y'all to talk back to me over here. Thank you for the repost, Razzle. I'm just being real. I'm being real. That's the only thing I know how to do is be men that know how to do is be real. I'm going to ask this question again. Should churches address domestic violence allegation publicly? What do you think? How you doing, MM? Thank you for joining live. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for liking the live. Question is, should y'all think that they should do it openly? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the gifts. What do you think, Jay? What do you think here over on YouTube? Do you think they should do this openly? Because this case here, I think a lot of it could have been avoided. And then as I begin to do my report and seeing that she signed an affidavit stating that she wants to drop the charges. And I think that's what got a lot of people baffled about the situation, is that she ended up dropping the charges. Yes, what you say? Yes, they should, in my opinion. Yeah, we definitely should. Yeah, Jay said yeah as well. I mean, but I think a lot of people just really own her for dropping the 3 charges that she made prior to unaliving him. And I just, I don't know, and we don't know. Again, how long did Tina Turner stay with Ike before Tina decided to leave? I'm just being real. How long did Tina stay before she said, I'm done with Ike? She had to build the nerves up to leave Ike. She couldn't just walk away. And yes, part of it financial. It may have been the financial thing for Miss Massey. I don't know. Razzle said, I mean, they should, but you have to realize the church been hiding shit for centuries. Exactly. They definitely, I don't know who they're trying to get on. You have to get on later. But I don't know what time that this became comfortable enough where we just rake stuff under the rug, or that we just hide domestic violence, molestation, and don't talk about none of that. I don't know when it became famous to do that. Because in my opinion, let me say this. When I went back and did my investigation, there was another guy that was at the church, and the Pastor Green became the pastor. I'm assuming after this other pastor retired or whatever the case may be. So if I was on that deacon board, I'm being real. If I was on that deacon board, that usher board, I would have had something to say. Auxiliary board, I would have been like, hold on now. We appointing this pastor here, and this pastor got 3 domestic violence charges, and they was only dropped because the wife dropped the charges, not because the DA said, oh, we just want to drop the charges, not because there's been proven facts. of her, as everybody keeps saying, she made up all those allegations. Okay, well, let's say if that was true, then how could the DA not charge her? Everybody keep missing that. They keep missing the facts. The facts is the facts, and this is what goes on. The facts are the facts, and we can't deny it. Why we want to deny the truth? Because we like the lies. We like the lies they've been feeding us, and they've been feeding us lies for a very long time. Within the past week, I've just seen something that was really profound to me. In the state of Tennessee, there has a law being passed that you have to be registered as a domestic violence offender. And when I saw that, y'all, I really I wanted to do one of them church shout myself. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I wanted to just, let's say, throw my hand back and dance. I really did. Because it went into effect went into effect January the 1st. And I think, well, he's not here anymore. Pastor Green is not here, but he should have been the first one amongst other. Because we have one in Covington, Tennessee, domestic violence charge, and the guy almost got away. But put that ass on the registration list. That way, you could be identified just as well as the sex offenders. We don't want to leave no stones unturned. But my mind wondered, why did it take this long? Like what was going on that it took so long for this to happen? And I guess some people probably would say the legislator and all that good stuff. Thank you for sharing the live dream. I don't know what took this long. But accountability is an attack on faith, is protection of it. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm talking about domestic violence. I'm also going to talk about molestation. If you over here on TikTok, click on the link up in my bio, head over to YouTube, because I'm about to show a video. This video here is very, very disturbing. You can hear it, but you're not going to see visual what's going on. And in this particular video, a pastor by the name of Pastor John Lowe, he molested a young lady. And the young lady took matters into her own hand. I'm just going to be real. She took matters into her own hand. And it goes to show you firsthand, you will see, because a lot of people haven't seen this video, you will see how, to me, the churches ain't shit. The churches ain't shit. And let me find it. So I'm gonna put it on the screen for you.
I was just 16 when you took my virginity on your office floor. Do you remember that? You did things to my teenage body that had never and should have never been done.
Sunday service went straight to hell in Indiana after a woman confronted Pastor John Lowe in front of the whole congregation at New Life Christian Church. Tempers started flaring after the pastor who tried to confess left out the fact that the victim was only 16 when it happened.
Did you do it? That's all we need to know.
Yes, we did.
You didn't tell them she was 14 years old.
No, at 16.
Sorry, 16.
She was 16 years old, Jay. Okay? And it was wrong. I can't say it. I can't make it right. I can't make it any better.
And in a shocking twist, after his confession, church members surrounded Pastor John Lowe in a prayer circle and offered him forgiveness. Police would eventually investigate, but because of the statute of limitations, no charges were filed.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. That kind of vexed my spirit. That really did. That vexed my spirit like, baby, old grandma, baby, want to do some hoodoo. I ain't lying to you, because first of all, she was brave enough to stand up in the church. She was a white officer. She was a white, yes. Oh wow, definitely dream. It was crazy. What do you say, Jay? You said what? That's crazy. So you see it, Jay? I'm not. It's not nothing I'm making up. It was the fact that it took bravery to get up in front of the church on the microphone, on the PA system, and say what she said. A lot of people don't even get a chance to confront their abuser. So for her to do that, and then when she did it, he admitted it. I think that shouldn't even be no goddamn statute of limitation. I'm just gonna be real. If your ass wait till you 80 years old, I'm not saying that he was 80, but I'm saying if you wait till you 80-year-old and you decide this is what you want to do, what you say they would have known what hell was like at their moment. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Baby, I would have upped that tulip. Do you hear me? That's why they passed that law in Tennessee. It's called Savannah's Law. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think it needs to be something, not only just domestic violence with her. I think it needs to be about the molestation. I think something needs to be in full effect. Because that right there, they all hell would have broke loose. What y'all say, crash out? I would have tore that church up. You hear me? And I would have waited till after he admitted that he did that to me. I sure would. I would have and wait till he admitted it and tore that church clean up. When they said all hell broke loose, all hell broke loose. You did what? And then at the end, if you looked at the end of it, why everybody gather around him like he the victim? I don't understand that. Y'all gather around, hug him. Oh, pastor, let me pray with you, pastor. What y'all praying with him for? What y'all recognize him for? And then if I had been a deacon, let me say this. If I would have been a deacon, come on, y'all. Or I would have did the and chuckle right on up out of him. Because you did what? But instead, everybody gather around him, lock arms with him. What make him so special? Like, who does that? Kevin, I'm definitely agreeing with you. Spiritual delusion. Absolutely. I call it the Stockholm syndrome. That's just what I call it. Because they all stuck. That's why I feel you need to know for yourself. Try for yourself. Stop repeating scripture that your grandmama done repeated 50-some years. And now your mama, she repeating them 30 years. And then now you repeating them 15 years. And then your kids repeating them 10 years. But nobody knows what they saying. They just repeating and paraphrasing. What's up, Destiny Johnson? Are we going to stop repeating this shit? Or are we going to know it for ourselves and try it for ourselves? Like, we got to use common sense. We got to use our head. Forget when they say lean not to your own understanding. Why would they tell you not to believe in your own self? Like, make that make sense. Why would you not believe in your own self? What sense is that? And so they can control you. They can manipulate you. That's what they doing. They controlling and they manipulating. And I say all the time, I sit up here and watch a lot of people coming in out there live, and there's been a lot of views. But guess what? Only the real recognize real. Fakes are everywhere. You know, reals are rare. So I don't let nobody discourage nothing. Because I stand by what I say. I'm not a religious person. I'm spiritual all day. Have I been religious? Until the shit started not making sense. Like, come on. These churches should be held accountable. And I think for 2026, if anybody that listens that has a flock, let me say it like this, the Kojic style. If anybody have a flock, I feel that there should be something pertaining to domestic violence in the church. I feel that there should be a woman, there should be a man in these positions. I ain't talking about little Willie that you stand on the corner and used to drink and look at your little niece and nephew. I ain't talking about him. We ain't talking about that kind. I'm talking about some real people. Like for real, Jay, I'm talking about some real people. It need to be some domestic violence ministries. We need that in the Black community. And I just don't understand, like I said before. Nowadays, you have to go to school in order to be a pastor. You got to go to school. You got to get some type of education. My time growing up, there wasn't no education to get. All you had was the Bible to read from. So many times I ask, what happened back then that's different from now? That now you got to have an education to spread, quote unquote, the gospel. You said seminar school? Yeah. Seminary school? Absolutely. But why? Razzle, do you know? Like what happened or what transpired that people got to go to school? Because that means now you're not even qualified. Anybody can go to school and read the Bible. I better leave this alone because I think I done stepped on a couple of hands that's tied. Because this ain't it. This is definitely not it. Hello, Takia, how you doing? What makes it now that I gotta go to school in order to be in the pulpit? A board of directors for the church as an entity. You think that's what made it where people have to go to get qualified? Is this what you're saying? Because I want to know. What do you think, Jay? Like what do you think, Dream? I want to know. I want to know y'all feedback. Like what transpired, what took place where pastors had to be, quote unquote, I'm gonna say certified. The white churches do it all the time. I'm pretty sure. I feel like because and I have to say it, but it started being more Afro-American pastors, so they absolutely Dream. I definitely did, but what transpired? Like, damn, mega churches. Definitely. And I could throw out some. I'm a Kojic. I was a Kojic baby. So I definitely can throw out some. You know what I'm saying? I could throw out some, but I ain't gonna do it, y'all. I ain't gonna do it. It's sad. You know? And I think with Pastor Green, even with seeing some things, and I'm gonna say this. When I went back to his TikTok page, it's a lot of rainbows coming out. You said money got plenty, so a system had to be in place. Absolutely. And I can see it from a tax, standpoint as well. If you want to take it there. I could definitely see that. Wholeheartedly. But with Pastor Green, I'm going to say this. I used to sing in a community choir here in the city of Memphis. I sung in a community choir for several years. My oldest is 17. I sung in the community choir up until he was about 10. And you see a lot of things, a lot of unhinged shit, And even with the person that I was singing behind, it was a lot of questioning. What's up, Tarshay? It was a lot of question about who am I singing up under? Who am I singing behind? And I'm not speaking against homosexuality, but I feel like when you're put in front to do certain things, then you should act accordingly. I do feel like that homosexuality should be accepted in the church. Hey, what's up, girlie? What's up? Share the live for me. Tap the screen. Give me some likes. Share the live. Like the live, baby. So I do feel like they should be embraced. However, I feel like when it comes down to the act, like the real life act of homosexuality in the pulpit, nah. I ain't with that. So this Pastor Green stuff, keep y'all eyes open. Because this ain't the last of what's finna go down. It's more sinners in churches. But Jay, that's the crazy part. You were sinners before you even got here. You were sinners before you even got here. Now, I'm just going to keep it real. What you say? I am sick of it. I don't mind it, but dang, they getting carried away. So I say, like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Like, why is y'all all up in the pool? Like I say, I just don't like the whole physical sexual act in the pulpit. There's nah. And I don't even go to church. You know what I'm saying? I don't even go there. You seen the pastor cussing in the pulpit? Yeah, the pastor cussing, baby. Them folk cuss harder than my grandmama. You know what I'm saying? And you know your grandma back then, they would say shit and damn. You know, a little word like, oh no. But when grandma got home, she would let you have it. She would tell your ass a thing or two. Jay, what you said, true. I'm for real. They would tell your ass a thing or two. I'm mind blown. Like, hold on. I thought you were certified. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was qualified to be this. It's confusing. It's confusing. Where is the line between grace and accountability? Where is the line between grace and accountability? I don't even feel there's no line for grace. What you say? You see what she said? Okay, Torshay said sorry. No, don't be so. Look, this. I'm over here now. Tarshay, I'm over here. I ain't over there no more. I'm over here, 100%. Razzle said the line born into sin that I may live again was weird. Hold on. Let me read that one more time. That tickled me. The line born into sin that I may live again was weird, but they put it into a music, and there you go. I looked at something on these social media platforms, and they were saying that if you really listen to the gospel songs, they are really depressing. Now, I don't know everything, but when I saw that, I began to sit back. I said, well, take me to the king. I don't have much to bring. You know what I'm saying? Y'all about to open up a whole nother can of worms. Let me stay on topic. I'm going to stay over here on topic because that there, man, I'm telling you, and it's crazy how we align it because I saw this a week ago, and they said that church songs be so depressing. Jay said, true. I mean, they some of them, not all of them, some of them are good, but I know one that should be banned. And when I hear people sing it, I stop them in their motherfucking tracks. And that's Amazing Grace. Because Amazing Grace was something. See, y'all got me going there. Say, girl, I listen on and off. Yeah. Because you can find what you're looking for in really regular songs. You really can. It don't have to be quote unquote labeled as gospel or quote unquote labeled as church song. You know, it don't have to be that. You said, Razzle said, what is it? I'm just saying it was a song about torture, if you ask me. And it was, Razzle. It was a song about torture. And we were the rich. And so it took me, really, to be honest, I got out of high school. And I'm talking about 2022. For me to realize Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. They saved the rich like me. and he was the wretch, and it was him doing the hanging back in those times, doing those slavery times, doing what he was doing, and then he get up and ask God for forgiveness. He was a rich too, but he asked God for forgiveness. And so, that's the song that was sung, and we as black people, we just sang it like it's nothing, as a repetitious thing, and we keep repeating it. Like I said, 50 years grandma sung it, 30 years mama sung it, 20 years you singing it, 10 years your kids singing it, and then now you got the toddler singing. No. We ain't singing no Amazing Grace around here. What rich? I'm finna retch around here and do something. That's what I'm finna do. I'm finna retch around here. The hell you mean? Oh, wow. Torsha, you didn't know that? You wasn't aware of that? Dream said, I don't sing it, never liked it, and don't. Ooh, Dream, when I say you are my fucking twin. Dream said, I don't sing it, never liked it, and don't play it to the flag either. I mean, Torsha, oh my God. You said, no, ma'am, oh my God. But that's what I'm saying. They be telling you, man, when they say, lean not to your own understanding, that's poison your fucking brain not to listening to yourself. Like, come on. And I'm going to say this. With churches, there's no critical thinking. In churches, there's no critical thinking. I'm being real. They don't want you to do critical thinking, but you know about critical thinking in school, don't you? Don't you? Jay, you know about critical thinking in school, right? I know. They teach you that. But when it comes, you better not do no damn critical thinking. What are you thinking for? We don't need you to think. We need you to hear what we got to say to you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, man, there's no grace. There's no line for grace in there. No, there's no accountability. Nobody wants to hold nobody accountable for shit when it comes to the church. Why we can't hold pastor accountability? And if he get up there and preach and saying how holy he is, and God forgive you a sin, but you just did a domestic violence charge. And we're not supposed to say nothing. We're not supposed to have an opinion. We're not supposed to come forward. Why not? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's ludicrous that you can't think. And I know I got put out the church. I got put out the church now. Why? Because I asked a lot of questions. They don't want me to come back. I make you question your whole existence. Oh, I can't even get the word out. Existence. I will make you question your whole existence. Don't ask me to come to church. Oh, no. I'm one you don't ask. Don't ask me. Boy, I had them going upside the wall. I said, yes, indeed. Because I come speaking the truth, and they don't want you to do no critical thinking, man. Like, nah. Jay said, did they tell you that? Of course. Of course. A lot of people think because I'm from my grandma was a hoodoo practitioner. I'm going to say this. My grandma was a hoodoo practitioner. And hoodoo runs in everybody's bloodline. Hoodoo is something that was before my time, your time, your mother's time, and time, before anything got introduced as Christianity. And they couldn't quite understand hoodoo. So they had to do something or put something out in the atmosphere to control the population of people and to say that it was witchcraft or it was devilish or it was evil. But hoodoo is a way of life. It is how your auntie, your grandma, everybody else survived. You know, I'm not talking about voodoo because a lot of people get it mixed up and construed it. I'm not talking about voodoo. I'm talking about hoodoo. Hoodoo. And it's a way of life. And if you ate pinto bean, I mean not pinto beans, black eyed peas on the first yesterday, that's a hoodoo thing. And I can name several things that's hoodoo, but we're not here for that. That's another time, another day, another topic, all that good stuff. But it's not nothing devilish. It's not nothing. It's going to harm you. It's things that our people use to protect us. You know, while they was here going through slavery. And like I said, throughout the years, they got washed away. So to answer your question, Jay, yes. So a lot of them think that I don't believe in God, and I'm not in a position to correct them. Because if that's what they think of me, then that's what they think of me. I'm not here to confront them. I'm not here to tell them, oh, well, it's not our belief. That's just what you think. That's your business. It's your problem. That's a you problem, not a my problem. You know. So if you think that being of hoodoo is I don't believe in God, hell, that's what you think. That's what you think. But why would you be worried about that? Why would that be in the forefront of your mind? Because if you knew what I knew, you would not be controlled. You would be able to be a critical thinker for yourself. And so they immediately said to me, she don't believe in God. Uh-huh. All right. You know, and I don't care, So it is what it is. And so that's to answer your question, Jay. And when I come, like my mom would invite me for let's like past anniversary because I know these people like 30 some years. So that she would invite me, and when I would come, I'm dripped in African attire. I am. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. Absolutely. I'm dripped in it. So you say what you want to say. Because you're what? You are African American. So I'll let nobody tell me anything different. I do critical thinking. What did they say? You can't mess with me, and because I'm up here. Ain't that what I told Tina? You can't mess with me, and because I'm up here. Critical thinking. You can't do that. You can't do that in the church. No, 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 no. You can't do that. If you do that, you're getting too powerful. You're getting too powerful. Thank you for the gift, Rouse. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love y'all giving me on TikTok. Thank you. I appreciate it. But it is what it is. Ain't no bad blood. I see you. Hey, Pastor. Hey, fur lady. How you doing, fur lady? I say all that. You know. So it is what it is. Oh, this space for awareness, you know, and I like to let people be aware so you can do critical thinking for your own, and not just because somebody said it. But this space is for awareness on the Domestic Fire Podcast, not a take. If you're listening and this topic feels personal or this was a personal thing for you, I just want to let you know that you're not alone. Domestic violence is thriving in silence, especially in spaces where people feel uncomfortable. Domestic Friday podcast is to break generational curse. I will do everything in my power that I can to help to break generational curse. It's the reason that I came up with the podcast. So Domestic Friday podcast breaks every yoke of domestic violence and anything that comes to domestic violence. New episodes are every Friday. Share this with someone who needs to hear this. Keep this live. When I get off, I will have share the clips. If someone's going through domestic violence, hear a voice. Get here, hear good. And with that being said, I am Alona Mindy. I'm happy I finally made me too, Shane. I'm happy you finally made it too. I am glad, I'm glad, I'm glad, I'm glad. And we can get more on here and more on the platform. I gotta stop being violent. Because I gotta stop being violent. Oh Lord, twin. No, twin. You ain't violent. Happy New Year to you too. Talk to that. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you coming along, everybody on YouTube and Facebook. And with that being said, this is the end of the podcast, and I will see you on the next episode of the Mystic Friday. Bye for now. Oh, we gosh, y'all have been amazing.